Everybody, please be seated. Thank you, choir. Beautiful. Directing our choir was Meg Borman, who is a music therapist. She's been around a long time. Well, you do great things. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. And she wrote that song, and it was called In the Frozen Winter. Well, good morning on this chilly yet beautiful morning in Prescott. Welcome to Granite Peak Unitarian Universal Congregation. I'm looking around and I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces and maybe some new ones. Can't really tell from here. If there's anybody here for the first time, if you'd like to stand up and introduce yourself, we'd love to hear from you. No pressure. Please join us afterward in the Davis Hall, which is across the hall over there, for coffee and goodies and conversation. And I know you people love to chat, so. Today, oh wait, oops, screwing up to do this again. Today, with the ringing of the Peace Bowl, we affirm our collective hope for peace in our country, in Ukraine, in Gaza, in the Caribbean, and wherever else in the world where peace is being threatened every single day. We acknowledge these lands are the lands that are unceded, ancestral, and historical lands of the Yavapai people. I am Rhea Batterman, she, her, your worship associate this morning. Unfortunately, Reverend Michelle is ill and cannot be here, but we were very fortunate to have Krista Munson, who stepped up at the very last minute, who will be doing the sermon and a lot of the other parts of the service. So thank you, Krista. And the title is Love Yourself Well. We begin our service in the Unitarian tradition of lighting our chalice. Our chalice lighter this morning is Kelsey Wilkes. Today, we light the chalice with these words by Sidney J. Harris. It's surprising how many persons go through life without ever recognizing that their feelings toward other people are largely determined by their own feelings. And if you're not comfortable within yourself, you can't be comfortable with others. Thank you, Kelsey. And now we will do our opening hymn, How Could Anyone? It's 10:53 in your teal hymnal.
Anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could
Our opening words this morning are from Jennifer Healy. Self-compassion isn't about escaping your darkness, but learning to love yourself there. The willingness to accept painful truths about ourselves is a seed of self-compassion. Self-compassion is the seed of a deeper connection with the wonder of being alive. Now please join me in saying the words to our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, the quest for truth, its sacrament, and service, its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, thus do we covenant together.
This is a test for us. As we prepare to receive the offering this morning, let us embrace the feeling of connection and community that we have when we gather each week. Let us remember that this congregation and its programs are supported by your generosity. We also give back to the greater community through our Seeds of Support program. This month's recipient is Martin Luther King Annual Celebration, which will be on January 19th of 2026. You can read about this in your order of service. Each Sunday, half the plate, as well as the designated checks, go to Seeds of Support, and the other half go to the congregation. So if you're giving anything and you want specifically to say that it's for SOS, please do so on your check. If not, note down that it's for another contribution. If you'd like to contribute online, please go to prescottuu.org. Beautiful, Lena, thank you. What is given in love is received in gratitude. Amen, and blessed be.
Let's take this opportunity to continue this meditative feeling. Please find a comfortable way to sit, or if it's more comfortable, to stand. And take a breath in through your nose, and slowly let it out through your mouth. In, and slowly out. And again. From the Reverend Michelle Collins, a prayer for cultivating compassion for oneself. Source of love, we come carrying the weight of our own harsh verdicts. Guilty, insufficient, forever falling short of some impossible standard. We who would never speak to a friend the way we speak to ourselves in the dark hours before dawn. There is a tenderness we save for others, that we ration from our own souls. A forgiveness we grant freely to strangers, while our own mistakes echo endlessly in memory's courtroom. We have learned to be generous with everyone but the person in the mirror. Teach us the revolutionary act of self-befriending. When shame whispers its familiar poison, may we remember we are not our worst moments. We are not the sum of our regrets. We are beloved, imperfect, gloriously human, worthy of the same gentle mercy we yearn to give the world. May we learn that loving ourselves is not vanity, but necessity, the deep well from which all other love must flow.
This beloved community is the heart of Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist congregation. As we experience this time of meditation and music, please take a few moments to silently acknowledge the joys and concerns on our hearts and our minds. If there is an event that moves you to joy or concern, hope or gratitude, grief or remembrance, you are invited to come forward and drop some pebbles into the water as an affirmation of our connection to one another. I shall drop the first pebbles in memory of so many lives lost and prayers for peace in our world. Now let us sing Spirit of Life. It's number 123 in your gray hymnal, or it's up on the screens.
I got to keep up here. Our reading is from John O'Donohue. He says, "It takes great courage and grace to feel the call to awaken, and it takes greater courage and more grace still to actually submit to the call, to risk yourself into these interior spaces where there is very often very little protection. It takes a great person to creatively inhabit her own mind and not turn her mind into a destructive force that can ransack her life. You need compassion for yourself, particularly in American society, because many people in America identify themselves through the models and modules of psychology that inevitably categorize them as a syndrome. Lovely people feel that their real identity is working on themselves, and some work on themselves with such harshness. Like a demented gardener who won't let the soil settle to grow, they keep raking, tearing away the nurturing clay from their own heart. Then they're surprised that they feel so empty and vacant. Self-compassion is paramount. When you are compassionate with yourself, you trust in your soul, which you let guide your life. Your soul knows the geography of your destiny better than you do. Meg.
And now we have a real special treat. This is music that Meg has written, and it's called I Still Believe.
Please join in. Let me take the verses, because they're a little winky. But the chorus, the chorus has to be sung by us. Do I need a microphone? Yes. Not for my voice?
No, well, I'm saying no, I hear you. Oh, okay.
Just realize it's not that. Hopefully this is on, Mark. Was the night before Christmas? And when I was young, we'd sing fa-la-la while the stockings were hung. I sometimes was naughty, I tried to be nice. The air full of magic and sugar and spice. But the years keep on turning and I'm getting older, and everything's burning except hearts getting colder. Fascism's rising,
Thank you, Meg. And it is indeed the warmth of each other we need when times get tough. Let me start by saying that in writing a sermon in 2 days, I only did what every minister does every week. And I don't have to do it every week. Still, the title is Love Yourself Well, How Health and Spirituality Relate. Here's my story. I have it easy. I beat a serious daily seizure disorder with a movement disorder that required a wheelchair, chemical sensitivities, reactions to building materials, cleaning chemicals, and the laundry products and fragrances that people wear that kept me isolated for 2 decades. Electrical sensitivities that meant no internet for me, no cell phone, and a no-go zone anywhere around them. Fatigue that felled me and that stole my brain. I would not wish that life on anyone. My inability to think was one of my biggest sorrows. I couldn't think my way out of a wet paper bag, much less out of a collection of life-limiting conditions. I often felt crushed by hopelessness, could not see a way out. That was the scariest of all. I had tried everything modern medicine has to offer. Doctors in different cities and IV infusions 3 times a week when I couldn't drive. Experimental immune system treatments, a $200,000 year with a scary $1 million cap on lifetime insurance, and then no insurance at all. I thought I was eating a reasonably healthy diet, mostly vegetarian, attention to getting protein, fresh food as often as I could, no refined sugars, no sodas, alcohol, coffee, or tea. I thought of myself as viceless. Also, I was very careful about what chemicals came into my environment. I left everything familiar to me to move to chemically safer surroundings 14 times. What else was I supposed to give up? And how was I supposed to get well, or even marginally better? Trying to manage my illness left no room for anything else. But when you dig for it, illness has its upsides too. Here's mine. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get healthy and stay healthy. I've done a lot for my health, besides moving to different environments, cities, states, which ultimately did not help anyway. I keep to a ketogenic diet with no sugars, no starches, no seed oils, and no ultra-processed foods. I do my best to get my sleep. I found a community where I participate. Thank you, Granite Peak UU. All of those remain important, but those were all add-ons. The first thing I did that had much effect was to find help letting go of my continuous fight or flight state. Help getting into the rest and digest state, the only physiological state in which healing can actually happen. The only physiological state in which a person can listen for their spiritual self, where love can happen. Repeated micro-vacations of some minutes in the nervous system state of rest and digest worked miracles on my outlook and on my health. I was able to drive again, get my own groceries, keep functioning past 1 p.m. Things I never again want to take for granted. If my recovery, my miraculous recovery, sounds woo-woo to you, consider this. It is well established by a robust set of studies called ACE, Adverse Childhood Experiences. The first one's done at Kaiser in the mid-90s. That set of experiments show that people who experienced abuse, neglect, loss, or other trauma as children are 10 to 12 times more likely to experience chronic or life-threatening health conditions like heart disease, cancer, lung disease, addictions, decades later as adults. The more events, the higher the risk. Woo? And there are doctors who know, and as a health coach, I know, that until the trauma is recognized and addressed, those health conditions are stubborn, resistant to every physiological approach. They often don't really clear up until the trauma is addressed. That's when miracles come. What that comes down to is love. But why do I say I have it easy? Partly because my health history gives me clear motivation in making a bunch of healthy choices. I see other people struggle harder, especially around food choices. They cannot conceive of giving up foods that bring them pleasure, even if those same foods can also bring them physical misery. I have two things to say to that. First, as a society, we need more and better satisfactions. I love good food, and I cook and eat good food. Delicious food. Heck, I count myself a foodie. But I also believe in recognizing and taking pleasure in every area of life and every experience, not only with food. Our society really emphasizes pleasure through food and drink, at the expense of everything else. The big food, big ag, big chemical industrial complex is heavily invested in keeping it that way. If you choose differently, you are bucking all their advertising, all their deliberately addictive additions to ultra-processed foods, and all their substantial influence on the medical profession. It is no small choice. The second thing I have to say about that is my history of making good food choices makes easier my current food choices. I know how the contrast of how my brain and body respond and how it feels with healthy choices and with unhealthy choices. That knowing comes from creating the opportunity for health and the experience for health. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't know. The experience of digging deep into the science and following it and sticking with it. It does not all come down to willpower. There's more to it than that, and there are ways to make it easier. The food choices I make are repeated acts of love for myself. M. Scott Peck defines love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Notice the action orientation here of extending oneself. It's not just an internal state. And make no mistake, self-compassion is a huge component of self-love. So if you're hurting, please don't just give up and give in. Recognize that there are other choices available. Extend yourself some love. It can be in the form of healthier choices for food and drink, for sleep and exercise, healthier choices for looking within. Extend your self-compassion with kinder self-talk and kinder self-regard. You do not love yourself. You cannot love yourself if you love only the good parts, the things you do right, the aspects of you that are strong. You are more than just those parts. The other parts, the not so good, not so right, not so strong, they need your love too. As Andrea Gibson put it, those who do the most growing in this life are those who offer the most compassion to the parts of themselves that have not yet grown. This does not mean that you just don't care whatever the heck those yet to grow parts are doing, that you don't care whatever they sabotage for you. No, of course you care. There are consequences to what they do. They're not just damaging their health, they're damaging yours. But you are not a loose confederation of separate parts. You are one whole person. And if you chastise, blame, or shame aspects of yourself, you do not love yourself. Compare it to raising children. Haven't we given up on harsh chastisement, blame, and guilt tripping? As a society, clearly not. But as Unitarian Universalists, at least in our better moments, and as an ideal, hopefully we've given that up. Don't we want to invite our children into growth, into learning, into opportunity, into transformation? So why do we not give ourselves, our whole selves, the same invitation to opportunity? Another analogy for how to love ourselves is marriage. Let's say your spouse betrays you. And even so, you don't want to end the relationship. You want the trust restored. Okay. If you just ignore your spouse's betrayal, it probably won't work for you. You're hurting, and that hurt needs acknowledgement. But equally, expecting your spouse to do all the work of repair may not work either. If restoration of your trust requires across the board perfect purity of thought, perfect attunement to your feelings, groveling in guilt before you for as long as it takes for you to feel better and trust again, that might not work either. But isn't blame and shame how we treat ourselves when we have broken faith with our own decisions and deeper desires, with our vows to ourselves? Wouldn't it work better to extend some grace and understanding when what we long for is connection? Wouldn't it be better to, connect? So why then, when it comes to ourselves and our breach of trust with ourselves, do we fail to extend grace and understanding for connection? We cannot hate ourselves into health. Health requires love. Love of our whole self. Love that has to come from ourself. And please, everybody, know that I am preaching here to myself just as much as to any of you. Maybe more to myself than to any of you. It's not easy. It's an ongoing process. This is something where I have to pour attention, courage, noticing, and extending myself to meet myself. My food and supplement choices are just one area of effort. And they're more of a surface thing. There's deeper awareness available. So let's celebrate our wins with ourselves, and let's also look on our losses, our personal failings, as opportunities for learning, for transformation, without harshness, with compassion, Let's love ourselves whole by loving our whole selves. And now we have our hymn, number 1057.
Go lifted up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day. Lifted up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you, Meg.
All I could say is, wow. Thank you, Krista. That was very courageous. Thank you so much. I'm crying, so. Okay, now it's time to extinguish our chalice. Please join me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Now more from Krista.
Imagine if we obsessed about the things we loved about ourselves. Blessed be. Go in peace.